This guy was doing 100 grand a month, but 95% of his revenue came from one company. I had to break it to him. Your business is worthless. So at first he didn't believe me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly where I was coming from and why it might apply to you too. Now, look, I know most of you aren't thinking about selling your company. You're not lying in bed at night thinking about exit strategies. You're thinking about next week's bookings, right? Keeping your vehicles busy, making payroll, selling the business is the last thing on your mind. And that's exactly the problem. Because nobody wakes up one morning and decides their business is worthless. It happens slowly. You spend 5, 10, 15 years grinding, building what feels like a real company. And then one day, whether it's because you want to retire, or you get burned out, or life throws a curveball at you, you look around at what you've actually built, and there's nothing that anyone would pay money for. Not because you didn't work hard, because the revenue was never yours. But here's the thing. Even if you never sell, even if you plan to drive until the wheels fall off, affiliate dependency is the most dangerous thing in your business right now. It means you don't control your income. You don't control your pricing, and one phone call from one company can cut your revenue in half overnight. I've seen it happen. I watched an operator go from $30,000 a month to $6,300 in 60 days. Now, most operators think revenue is revenue. If you're pulling in 30, 50, even 100 grand a month, you're winning. Doesn't matter where it came from, right? I've talked to hundreds of limo operators over the last 9 years or so, and the ones doing the most affiliate revenue consistently are the ones in the most danger. That 100 grand a month guy I mentioned, I told him to his face, your business is basically worth nothing. And he didn't believe me at first either. I'm going to break down the 3 reasons why affiliate-heavy businesses are a ticking time bomb and what you should be doing instead. Let's get into it. You're giving away 20 or 30% and you don't even see it. Here's something most operators never sit down and actually calculate. When you do affiliate work, built into the rate you're giving them is a discount, and that discount is usually somewhere between 20 and 30%, sometimes more. So if your business is doing, let's say, 50 grand a month, and 95% of that is affiliate work, add 20 to 30% to what you're making. Because if those were your own clients, that's what you'd be charging. We're talking 10, 15, 20 grand a month. That's basically invisible. You're paying it out, but you're not seeing it leave because it was never in your pocket to begin with. The guy doing 100 grand a month in affiliate work, add 20 to 30%. That's $20,000 to $30,000 a month he's leaving on the table every single month. That's potentially 300 grand a year gone. Here's a simple exercise. Pull up your numbers from last month. Look at what you did in affiliate revenue. Now multiply that by 1.25. That's the conservative end of what that revenue would look like if those were your own direct clients. The difference between those two numbers, that's what affiliate dependency is actually costing you. And it's not just the rate. When a client books with you directly, you own that relationship. They call you next time. They refer their friends to you, hopefully, or business associates. They leave you a Google review. With affiliate work, none of that happens. The client doesn't even know your name. So you're not just losing 20 or 30% on the transaction, you're losing the entire lifetime value of that customer. Every affiliate job is a dead end. It pays once and it's over. Your own client, that can pay you for years. But the money you're leaving on the table is honestly the least dangerous part of this, because at least that's predictable. What we'll talk about next is what actually kills businesses. One phone call can cut your income to zero. Here's how fast things can change. I had an operator, Sam, who was booking $30,000 a month, consistent. Life was good. Over the course of 2 months, July and August, his total bookings dropped to $6,000 combined. That's not a slow decline. That's a free fall. And there was nothing he could do about it because he didn't have his own client base to fall back on. I want you to ask yourself one question right now. If your number one source of affiliate work called tomorrow and said, "We're going in a different direction," what happens to your month? The answer is panic. That's all you need to know. And it's not always a dramatic phone call. Sometimes it's seasonal. The winter hits, and suddenly your affiliate is routing work to someone closer, someone cheaper, or someone they just like better this week. You don't get a warning, you just stop getting jobs. Affiliate revenue feels safe because it's consistent, until it isn't. And the brutal part is, you usually don't find out it's unreliable until it's too late, until you've already built your whole operation around it. Your own clients, your own Google presence, your own reviews. That is the only revenue nobody can take from you. So if affiliate work costs you 20 to 30% on every job and it can disappear overnight, but there's a third piece to this that most operators don't think about until it's way too late. Point number 3, you haven't built anything anyone would buy. Let me be blunt about this. If you sold your business tomorrow and most of your revenue comes from affiliates, you'd hardly get anything for it. Because no buyer in their right mind is going to pay for a business where the revenue walks out the door the second the owner does. Think about it from a buyer's perspective. They're looking at your books, they see 100 grand a month, impressive. Then when they ask where it comes from, and you say, well, 95% of it comes from my relationship with this one company, the buyer's next question is obvious. What happens to that relationship when you leave? And the honest answer is probably goes with you, or just goes. Now, compare that to a limo company that has 150 Google reviews, ranks organically in their market, has corporate accounts that rebook every month, and has a website that generates its own leads. That business has value, whether the owner is there or not. That business is an asset. The affiliate dependent operation, that's just a job. I've seen both sides of this. I have a client, Julio, down in Tampa. He built his online presence, stacked up over 165 reviews, and through one of his own leads, not an affiliate, he landed a contract with a government agency. Started around $250,000. That account has now done over $500,000. That came from his own marketing, his own reputation, his own online presence. Nobody can take that away from him. And if he ever decides to sell, that contract and that reputation are worth real money to a buyer. On the other hand, I've talked to operators doing serious volume, 6 figures a month, who couldn't sell their business for much more than the value of their vehicles, because without them personally managing those affiliate relationships, the revenue evaporates. And look, I started this video by saying I know most of you aren't thinking about selling, and that's fine, but here's what I've learned after nearly 10 years doing this. Everybody eventually wants options. Maybe it's retirement. Maybe it's a health issue. Maybe you just get tired, and when that day comes, and it comes for everyone, you want to have built something that gives you a choice, not something that traps you. Every day you spend building someone else's business through affiliate work instead of building your own reputation, your own client base, your own online presence, is a day you're choosing a job over a business. And that's a choice most operators don't realize they're making until it's too late to undo. So let's bring it back. Affiliate dependency is costing you in 3 ways, and most operators don't see them until it's too late. First, you're silently giving away 20 to 30% of every single job. That's tens of thousands of dollars a year you never see. Second, your revenue can vanish with one phone call, one slow season, one affiliate deciding to go a different direction, and you have zero control over when that happens. And third, maybe the biggest one, you're building something that looks like a business but isn't one. Not really, because the day you step away, it all goes with you. The operators I see winning in this industry, the ones adding vehicles, hiring drivers, stepping back from the wheel, they all have one thing in common. They stopped relying on other people's clients and started building their own. Don't build a $100,000 a month business that's worth nothing. Thanks for watching. If this hits home, drop a comment and let me know. What percentage of your business is affiliate work right now? I genuinely love to know. Hit a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.